And welcome to the 116 Live here on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius XM Channel 140. Listen, shout out to everyone that's tuned in right here, right now. My name is Meah Evans, and as always, y'all know I'm not solo. Got the one and only Ace Harris in the building. What's going on, Ace?
What's up, Meah? How you feeling?
You know, I feel like the fit's real low key, but you still shining through though.
Whatever. Come on, Meah. You know you be killing it.
We
every time.
we on the same tip, the baseball cap tip though. You know, we still locked in. We still locked in.
I was gonna say black girl magic, but I feel like people hear that word and hear magic and get weirded out. But you always bringing that black girl glow. You know what I'm saying? Killing it. Radiating. You know
we in tune, man. We in tune. Listen, we have another great show this week, man. We have another great guest. Listen, we have the one and only. Y'all know him as Jared Foster, but most know him as J. Paul. We have J. Paul on the show. What's going on, bro?
What's happening?
How you feeling, man?
Hey, I'm feeling good.
Listen, we're so happy to have you. Listen, there's so many things. I'm so excited to have you on because you transformed in so many different ways throughout your career. We're going to dive into your backstory in life. Yep. Talk about how life is treating you right now, man. How's your 2024 been? What's the season of life for you right now?
Hey, 2024 is going great.
Yeah.
Had my baby girl.
Oh, man.
January 10th. Yeah, I was about to say January 10th or 11th, but it was definitely the 10th. But yeah, so enjoying having her. The boys are super excited. I got 2 boys, so they're super excited about having a little sister to protect. So yeah, I'm having fun.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I feel like I was talking to you. It felt like yesterday. When you had just gotten married, it really feels like yesterday. And I was like, look up. I was like, you got 3 kids, bro. You working, man.
Yeah, hey. I mean, trying to figure out how to make it stop. I don't want we're done with the kids here.
Yeah, I feel it.
The kids are out of there. So yeah, I mean, yeah.
Now you look good, man. Every time I see you always fresh, man.
Nah, bro. You opened that door when I was coming in here, and I was like, okay, Ace. I see you, dog. You know what I'm saying?
I ain't gonna lie, seeing you, I'm reminded of seeing you on the Anomaly tour.
Yeah.
Back in 2014, and I was like, the shades were definitely signature. And you still got them, bro.
Still the signature.
It's a part of it.
Still the signature.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, what it really is okay. I wear glasses. And if I wear the glasses, I will look like Steve Urkel. So instead of looking like Steve Urkel, let me put my prescription in the shades, and I transform into Stefan Urkel.
Hey, let's talk about
it's
it,
all
man.
about that forward thinking, man.
you know,
it's about that
that's
forward
it.
thinking.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
I want to ask you, so how is it now being a dad of 3 now? Like, 1 is one thing, then 2 is another, but now 3.
Man, so somebody told me that you would have to play zone defense, and that's not a lie.
Jeez.
At first, it's man. Yeah. I got this one, you got that one. Now it's like, I got both of these, you got that one, but this other one is starting to come over here where you at. I'm like, man, this is a lot. I mean, it's not hard.
Right.
We got systems and things in place at home. You know what I'm saying? We're not just sitting the kids in front of a TV and just, hey, sit there and be quiet. We're going to take care of your sister. So it ain't that. But yeah, I mean, it's been cool. It's been fun. And then just seeing them having fun going and get diapers, and I like doing this. This is my baby sister. I can protect her. I can do for her. I can, whatever. So, I mean, it's been fun for us. I love it.
That's what's up, man. And you definitely have I've been in Atlanta for 7 years.
10 years.
It's been 10 years.
It's been 10 years.
How's that felt? You guys adjusting from Texas to
man,
Atlanta,
listen,
man.
I'm from Dallas. I'm Dallas to the heart of me.
Yeah, you definitely, Y'all ain't gonna lie, you just radiate Dallas.
Hey.
Y'all be I ain't gonna say what I want to say. Y'all be letting people know y'all from Texas, bro.
Man, listen, Dallas is its own country. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Texas is its own country. Dallas is its own state.
That is crazy.
That's how we feel.
I can see that.
That's how we feel. But yeah, I mean, it's the crazy thing is it's not a big transition for us to come from Texas to Atlanta. Folks is just as country. We dress the same, bro. So it's a different type of country. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying?
I can see
the folks in Atlanta is a little more country ghetto. We country.
No, that's true. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
So, I mean, just coming to Atlanta, and I remember the first time I talked to somebody, and they was like, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? The other day, I was down there. Hey, twin. I was like,
yeah, the slang is different.
So for us, we like, hey, say, man, hey, what's up, what's up, bro? What's happening, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just different.
Right.
Yeah,
but
I feel that.
the loudness, the confidence, it's the same.
For sure.
So, you know what I'm saying? The churches, I mean, it's, you know what I'm saying? It's pretty much the same, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been I want to get into this more on the next thing, but just kind of like to call it out a little bit.
Yep.
People have known you as J. Paul, the singer.
Yeah.
But on your Instagram, it's J. Paul, the Carpenter.
The Carpenter, man.
You have, from what I've seen, had an amazing evolution in your craft and what you do. I don't want to say pivot because that word can sometimes seem belittling.
Yeah,
but you've evolved as an artist.
Yeah,
it's still artistry.
Yes, as an artist.
Talk about what you tell the people. For those who don't know, why is your name J. Paul the Carpenter, and what are you doing to kind of like make that name make sense?
So J. Paul the Carpenter for me. So I wanted to go with J. Paul the Builder, and I was like, I still do music. So there's a P-E-N in Carpenter. So I was like, I build, but I still write. I still do music. So J. Paul the Carpenter. I was like, okay, that's kind of dope, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, all I've been doing is just, first I started off as a carpenter, just trying to figure out this space, this world. And then got into woodworking. So the difference between carpentry and woodworking is you have a carpenter who can do framing and the big stuff.
Sure.
Or the woodworker is like, okay, how can I take this lumber, this maple, and it's got a crack in it? I'm gonna take a bow tie and put right in between that in the crack to make sure that this split doesn't come open anymore and create a whole table out of this. So that's the difference between woodworking and carpentry. And I got into woodworking because I was like, man, there's a science behind it almost. You know what I'm saying? Like the way you got to turn the wood. Like I'm looking at this table right now. The way you got to turn the wood to make sure that the grains are meeting the right way. I mean, it's just the science behind the whole thing. So it was intriguing to me. And I just had a little bit of a builder background, being at home with my stepdad.
Okay.
He taught me how to do stuff with cars and, stuff like that.
Sure.
And then I used to build military airplanes. So really? The Gulfstream 4 and 5, C-17.
Don't just breeze over that one. Can you
Man, building whole airplanes out.
Say some more.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean the Black Hawk helicopter, Gulfstream 4 and 5, the Boeing, all of the Boeing airplanes, I mean, just a lot of airplanes. I learned how to build things, and I'm just a believer in, like, God doesn't give us these opportunities to learn things for us to just forget them later on. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
So I still have the gift and talent of singing,
right?
But when I have an opportunity to do things outside of that, I want to go and run and do that. For sure. You know what I'm saying? I want to use all the gifts that God has given me. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's interesting, man. Go ahead.
Yeah, how has it been developing that skill? Because you said you knew back in the day from your stepfather, I believe. Yep. How has it been sharpening that? Like, leaving, going from one skill to another, learning carpentry, woodwork, sharpening that skill so you can get, improving that.
I mean, it's been dope. Meeting people who are like-minded, especially for me, meeting black men who do carpentry. It's not like you don't see that many. But in Atlanta, you see a lot of black men doing it. And I'm just like, oh, this is dope. And we know things. Like, we know what the heck we're doing. Right. Y'all have the tools to do the stuff that we want to do. And learning from them what tools to get. So I mean, it was hard at first because I didn't have anybody. All I had was a music crew of people to hang out with. So when I first started, my then girlfriend, now wife, shout out to Aaron.
Make sure you tell the wife.
Right. So she was like, I want a daybed swing. Could you? And she wasn't asking me to build one, but she showed me the swing she wanted to build. I didn't know how to draw up plans. I just knew, okay, you want a daybed swing. It has to be the size of a bed on the inside. Okay, cool. We'll do a twin size mattress. What are the measurements from that? So the knowledge I had from building with my stepdad, and the knowledge I had from building military airplanes, I can put into doing this, look at a picture and build it.
That's so dope.
And the homie Marcus saw me build it, and he hit me up one day and was like, bro, you need to be selling this stuff. I was like, bro, ain't nobody gonna buy this stuff. Like, you tripping. And I posted it, and I told everybody I was selling it. And within a week, I had like 15 deposits for swings in my.
When was this? This was
2016. Yep. 2016, 17 is when it happened. And I was like, this is kind of crazy. And I really didn't know what the heck I was doing. But I mean, I was just learning. Every time I would build something, I'm learning something every day. So yeah, man.
And were you at this time? You had a vocation. You were building planes, or what were you doing?
No, so this was when I moved to Atlanta.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. So after the tour, I was just like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I was tired of being on the road. You know what I'm saying? Being in hotels and tour buses and airplanes. So I'm like, I've been in Atlanta for a while. I haven't lived I've been a resident of Atlanta, but I haven't been in Atlanta that much. And it's time for me. I want to just chill for a little minute. Let me figure something else out. And I just started building stuff at home, randomly just building stuff at home out of pallets.
Were you trying to create a business?
No. I wasn't trying to create anything. I was just making stuff. Fun. I was just having fun. And so dope. I'm like, I've saved money from being on tour. Let me just go buy some stuff. And my mama was like, you're pretty good at this. And she just randomly sent me a saw. And I was like, why she sending me a saw?
Shout out mama with the saw.
Right. I'm like, what the heck is this? So I was like, all right, cool. I guess I'll use it. And I started using it and made a table for a neighbor, and it just kept going from there.
So like, in that Genesis, you had downtime and you had some money saved up.
I had money saved up. I was looking for a job at that time. Cause again, I knew a job would keep me here, like keep me in Atlanta.
Okay.
So I was like, I'm looking for a job, and like I said, it just came out of nowhere. I made some handrails first, then I made the swing for Aaron. And this was before we got married, before we were dating. And then, like I said, I threw it up on social media, and it's been history ever since. It's been a wrap ever since. So
I didn't know that that's how things kind of like got going, because it's like there's so many people, Jay, that like are trying to find their moment, trying to use their craft. And you weren't even thinking about building like a career or profession.
Right.
And it kind of found you. And I think there's something special about how God reveals the things that he puts in us, like it seems seemingly randomly, but it's really divine. I mean, talk about how you feel like God had a place in that, man.
Bro, I just feel like God has given us everything we need. Everything that we need to do whatever it is that we're trying to do, whatever it is that he wants us to do, he has literally given us everything we need. So the experiences that I've had from my stepfather, building stuff at the house with him, working on cars with him, he gave me the confidence enough to pick up a drill, pick up a tool, and start doing stuff. From there, I had the opportunity to go to school to learn about building military airplanes. They saw how good I was at doing it because I had previous knowledge from what I was doing with my stepdad. And now they give me a job building these airplanes. I was the youngest person in a square mile of a company. I'm the youngest person at 18, 19 years old working here. The next youngest above me was 35 years old. So I had the opportunity to do this stuff. And I'm like, oh, okay, this is kind of dope. That was my favorite job. I loved it. They gave me the autonomy to just do whatever it is I want. Hey, you want to go over to the Black Hawk and work on the propellers today? You want to do this? You want to do that? I'm like, all right, cool. Because they knew I knew what I was doing. So now moving into this and saying, hey, I still like music. I still love music. I still love doing music. How can I create something for myself, my family, my kids, something that I can give to them years from now? Not saying that music won't do that for me, but I had just seen that for myself, I didn't have enough drive to push music the way I needed to. So since I don't have enough drive to do that, and I like seeing things, I like putting my hands to stuff and seeing stuff made, let's go into this. Let's try this. Let's do this. And again, it wasn't trying. I just start doing stuff, and it just happened.
So good.
But again, God gave me the experiences. He gave me the opportunities to do stuff years ago. I was 18, 19. I stopped working at Vought Aircraft when I was 23 years old. I was 30 when I moved here and on tour with Cray. So it was years before I was able to use those skills again. But again, he gave me the opportunity.
I definitely want to, when we come back the next time, I want to hear the 18, 19-year-old J. Paul.
Yeah.
As you doing these things, I wonder what role music played and like I want to hear more about your story with music. But yeah, we'll be right back. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140, and we'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm your host, Ace Harris, here with the amazing Meah Evans and
J. Paul the Carpenter.
Yo, man, having a good conversation with Jay.
No, for real. We're learning about him putting his hands on planes, and then also the difference between, I never knew the difference. I was going to ask you that about the difference between carpentry and woodwork. So we learning a lot
for sure
when it comes to everything you got going on. We want to dive into I don't know, just the throwback, the past a little bit for you. I'm curious to know how you got introduced to your relationship with God, your faith. That's kind of what kind of started it all. God ordering your steps through all these things in your career, but I'm curious where things started off with you.
Let's go back.
This is your show, man.
What we're going to do is go back.
Right. We're going to go back a little bit. So I grew up in church. So I tell people this all the time, but I was adopted. I was adopted at 8 weeks old. And I feel like God gave me a family who was going to give me back to him. It gave me a mom who was going to give me back to him. And her brother was a pastor, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my Uncle Homer. He passed away a few years ago. But so her brother was a pastor. So she moved from Oklahoma. I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. She moved from Oklahoma to Dallas.
Okay.
We were going to that church, and they didn't have any youth, anything at that church because it was a smaller church in Dallas. And we started going to Oakcliff Bible Fellowship Church, and I met a bunch of friends. One of the Pastor Evans' sons, Jonathan, became my mentor, and he just took me under his wing. And I just had a friend and a mentor. I mean, he's only 2 years older than me, but he just started teaching me the Bible little by little. And then my youth pastor, when I'm 14, 15, 16 years old, Vaughn Minor, he just starts teaching us the Bible even more. And now we're seeing somebody, again, who looks like us, and he dresses like us. He doesn't shy away from the fact that we don't act like a lot of the people at our church who are conservative. He's not shying away from that. He's like, y'all like the crump dance? All right, cool. Let's y'all go practice. And for praise and worship, we need 2 crump dancers on the stage. And it's like, oh, okay, this is kind of dope. And then from there, starting to learn the Bible from other friends. Meeting Tripp when Tripp was going to his church in Dallas. I forgot the name of it. But I was going to Oakcliff Bible Fellowship, and we would do this Houston missions trip together all the time. And at this time, I knew the Bible really well, but I wouldn't say that I was necessarily a Christian at this point.
You're like 15, 16. How old are you?
I was probably right around 16 years old.
Okay.
So we're doing this Houston missions trip, and it was something about going and seeing Vaughn speak to these people and seeing these people, like literally seeing these people just break out in tears. And I'm like, man, there's something about this, like something. So I just started asking Vaughn more questions and questioning him more, like just more and more and more questions. And I remember in 2000, going to him and being like, man, I want to get saved, bro. I want to be a Christian. He was like, too late. And I was like, what you mean? He was like, the Lord, if you're coming to me asking me that, the Lord has already pricked your heart. And I was like, oh, that's kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and from there, just seeing the conviction grow from there. And I'm like, oh, he was right. Like, you don't have to say this special prayer or anything. Like, when it happens, it just happens. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, that's dope. To know that the Lord just comes into your heart and it's not like, oh, I remember this day I prayed. And I mean, it can be something gradual. And for me, it was more gradual than I remember this day, the time where I was snotting and all kind of, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be that for everybody. So that was my story. Around 15, 16 is when I just started, like, things started to change. And again, like I said, me and Tripp, we met. We used to be on the bus headed to Houston. He would be rapping, I would be singing, and we became friends from there. And he went and met Lecrae and them. him, BJ, Tadashi, Show, they would drive down from Denton every Saturday to come and teach us the Bible at a McDonald's in DeSoto, Texas.
This is amazing.
So I'm 18 at this time, and they're just teaching us the Bible. And I'm like, this is kind of dope. Again, BJ from South Dallas. I'm from Oakcliff, Duncanville area. This is kind of dope to see somebody, again, from a similar hood as mine, look like me, and they love the Lord. So again, I just, from there, just kept going, kept following them as mentors, as being a disciple. You know what I'm saying? And it's just been history ever since then.
You had mentioned you was at Oakcliff Bible Fellowship Church. Shout out Tony Evans.
Yeah, man.
And even before you had met Lecrae, you mentioned you had saw a concert at Oakcliff from. Say more.
So I saw this concert at Oakcliff Bible Fellowship. I may have been 16 years old, and the youth were in there with the adults this time. You know, usually they got us separated. So it's fifth Sunday
in the main church.
Yeah, in the main church, and it's fifth Sunday, and you got all of these folks suited and booted.
Yeah.
You got the youth in there, and we're sitting in our one section, and he invited Cross Movement to come.
Dr. Tony Evans did?
Yes. They invited Cross Movement to come.
This is amazing.
They come, and they walk out on the stage, and I'm looking like, what's about to happen? They sagging, they got big clothes on, J's on, jackets, hats cocked to the side like T.I., you know what I'm saying? Just all kind of stuff. And they walk up there and let's spark this with a word of prayer. Heavenly Father. And I was like, uh-oh, this is kind of different. Like this is different than the Father, we come to you today. Like it's different than what I've seen. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? What I've been seeing all these years. But okay, let's, you know what I'm saying? And they got going. And like I said, Deuce had a line in a song that I will never forget. He said, he took dust in his hands, made a man breathe life into his frame and said, Adam is your name. And I lost my mind. I was like, oh, these folks can really rap. Because before, I'm like, I remember hearing about Christian rap and I was like, okay, that's whack. Like Christian rap. But hearing him put that together, and I was like, he took dust in his hand, made a man breathe life into his frame, said Adam. That's what he did. And that was kind of hard that you put that together like that. Mm-hmm. So for me, I was like, man, this is dope. And the fact that, again, going to a more conservative black church, having Pastor Evans have these guys up here, he knows that the youth are here. He knows that he don't look like us. And he needs somebody that looks like us, just as cool as they are and just as talented as they are. To come and speak to us. And then from there, again, like years later, you got Cray and Tadashi starting to come to the church. And they're just inviting more people in. You got Ty Tribbett coming to the church. You got Kirk Franklin, who goes to our church. You know what I'm saying? So you got so many people coming in, and it's just like, oh, like y'all are really inviting us to just be who we are.
That's so good,
and
bro.
Letting God meet us where we at. And I'm like, man, that's dope, man. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate you, Pastor Evans. Not Tony Evans. Appreciate you, Pastor Evans.
That's amazing. I mean, like, and as you get older, and you know, I know you were, I'm assuming, singing at the time, and you had mentioned about you working on planes. Like, when did your music career or pursuit start, and how was that experience?
I don't think the pursuit ever started. So that was the issue for me. So I wasn't a good writer in the beginning, and I struggled with that. And my pride wouldn't allow me to let somebody else come and write a song for me. Because I'm like, if I'm going to be singing about God and to God, I want it to be authentic. But I also don't want my lyrics to be ABC either. So it took a long time for me. It took till I moved to Atlanta to become a good writer.
Wow.
But singing, always had that gift. So having the opportunity, where my career in music started was with Trip. Trip randomly saw me at an event that we had in Dallas, and he was like, hey, bro, can I get you on a song? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Whatever. I didn't think it was going to go nowhere. I mean, I didn't think my career in music was going to go anywhere. Sure. I was like, really? This is just a song I'm doing with my homie.
Okay.
So we did the song. It was Invade. So we do Invade, and then Lecrae heard Invade and was like, he called me and was like, bro, I didn't know you could sing like that. I was like, yeah, okay, I can do a little bit. He was like, all right, I got something for you. I want you to do something for me. So, you know, Craig will say something and won't do anything for like 4 months later. You know what I'm saying? So he finally sent me Just Like You. And he said, sorry, Lecrae, I'm going to do it to you. He sent me his reference. And his reference was, all I want to be when I grow up, all I want to be is just like you. All I've ever seen, all I know of. I was like, all I want to be is just like you. So I just want to be like you. And I was like, nope. I'm not a great writer, but I know this ain't it.
This ain't it.
You know what I'm saying?
That
ain't it, brother. I'm sorry. And I remember heading to the studio. I'm headed to Biz's house. He lived an hour away from me. I'm heading out to his house, and I was supposed to write my stuff, and I didn't know what the heck I was gonna do. So I'm in the car, I'm headed out there, and out of nowhere, I wasn't playing the song. I stopped playing the song, and I just started praying. And I was like, God, if this is something you want me to do, you just gonna have to give it to me. And out of nowhere, I just want to be like you, walk like, talk like, even think like you, the only one I could look to. And I just sung it straight out. And I was like, wait a minute, what the heck is that? So I grabbed my phone to record it real quick. So I listened to it and I was like, this actually sounds good. But does it go with the music? So I played the song and I sung it and I was like, this is dope. So I was like, okay, God, you heard me. You heard what you saw. I was nervous as I don't know what about to head out here to do this song. And got there. I hit up one of my friends, Shy. Shy was like, okay, slow this part down a little bit. So I slowed it down and boom, did the song. And here we are. So from there, they just kept coming back. Tadashi, Bravo, Lecrae again with the Rehab Overdose. Then All I Need Is You, and it just kept going from there. And I was just like, man, this is dope. Tripley's Falling, like all of those songs just kept coming because they saw, okay, you have a talent, you have a gift, and God allowed me to use that gift.
And were you trying to establish yourself as an artist?
No. Because I didn't know what the heck I was doing.
What if you trying to do everything you telling us? You like, yeah, I wasn't even trying.
Bro, I wasn't. I just did. I've never. So coming from where I'm coming from, folk don't know what they want to do, bro. Like, you got a lot of hood dudes who just like, nigga, I'm just living.
Yeah.
Who got a lot of hood dudes who just like, bro, I'm just living my life.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So for me, I was just living life and life was just happening to me.
Shout out the grace of God.
Right.
Nah, for real.
You like, God was just crafted. He kind of made pathways for you.
Right.
Sometimes everybody's story is different.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, that's like the definition of ordered steps.
Yes.
The definition.
That's it. And I literally did not know what the heck I wanted to do. And then coming here and having other people who knew how to plan, who knew how to just help me along the way. I'm 30 years old coming here not knowing how to plan well.
How did you feel, honestly, J. Paul, after having these, like, you were on like Billboard and like Grammy Award winning, like these things you weren't trying to do had a lot of commercial success. You were on tour with Lecrae.
Yeah.
All I Need Is You, one of his biggest songs.
Yep.
I think it's like it's gold or something.
Yeah.
Oh, it's platinum, something crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it was one of them.
So how did you feel coming to Atlanta through all that, being 30, where people have this like 30-year-old life crisis? How were you feeling in your spirit? Like,
it felt really good, but it was also confusing. Because I'm like, I didn't try to do any of this. I wasn't trying to do any of it. And I had a lot of people saying, especially when I went on tour with Lecrae, I'm just hearing the backlash of, he ain't even got an album out. Why does he deserve to get to go on the road with Lecrae? And I'm like, bro, I didn't call Lecrae and ask him to go on tour. He called me and was like, hey, bro, we going on tour this fall. I'm like, oh, cool. And I just made the decision at that point to move to Atlanta. So I think at that point, there was a confidence there to say that I can start making decisions to do certain things. Right. And before that, again, I wasn't making the decisions. I was just letting life happen. You know what I'm saying? So now I can make a decision to do this and go and do it. I can make a decision to do this and go and do it. Once I started doing woodworking, I was like, I'm making a decision to not pursue music as much as I wanted to pursue music and pursue woodworking. And now I've done brand deals with some of the biggest companies. I've done a TV series and have other opportunities from that. But it was because of those opportunities and just allowing God to just order my steps and then saying, okay, God, I see where you're trying to take me, and then starting to make decisions from there. But before that, again, being around the people that I was around, I didn't know how to make the right decisions, bro. I'm just like, we just gonna live life and hopefully I don't die. That's it. That's all.
I think that there's so much that you said that is so good.
Yeah,
shout out your perspective on the area you came from, being from Dallas, where you said sometimes people are raised or groomed not with a lot of direction, not a lot of clarity. And shout out God for having his hand on your life, man. I definitely want to dive in more on what you got popping right now.
Yeah, man.
The glow up story is crazy. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'll be right back, y'all. Welcome back. This is the 116 Life on Holy Culture Radio, Sirius Channel 140. I'm having a good conversation with the amazing J. Paul and Meah. You just hearing your story, man, is just super crazy. Man, you've definitely. I've said this about a couple people who have worked in Christian music or Christian hip hop or just artists in general who have. I use the word pivot this time because I think it is a good example, but evolution is probably a more accurate word. But artists who have pivoted their professions or evolved what they do, and you're just an amazing story of that.
Appreciate
Shout out to people like Ruslan, people like Belief.
Yes, sir.
For real.
Like we know them for like being like amazing artists and having all these accolades. Even yourself, bro. It's like, oh, we think of J. Paul, we think about J. Paul the singer. And you found a way to like evolve. Talk about how that has been for you, how you feel about that, and what advice you can give to other artists who are trying to figure out how to navigate the artistry in music, but also being open to the other things that God's put in them.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard, especially when I first moved here and now I'm in it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to studio sessions with Cray. This is a Grammy nominated song. Like, okay, I really want to pursue this now. It's really hard to say we've gone here and now doing something to where people don't necessarily feel like this is a limelight job. And it makes you feel like people think, oh, he fell off.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So again, the pride hits you and you're like, I mean, I gotta keep trying. I gotta keep trying. I gotta keep trying to figure this out. But then something hit me and was like, I don't have to keep trying to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I can make the decision to say, this is where I want to go. Like I was saying earlier, I just want to go this way. I want to go this way. I want to pursue this. Do I want to still put out a song or two every now and then? Yes. If Cray or Trip or Tadashi or any one of them hit me up and come and ask me to come do a song, will I do it? More than likely. Am I trying to pursue it that much anymore? No, because I have other passions now. I have other things that God has given me. Like honestly, I could have been on stage with Usher skating. I'm a really good skater. You know what I'm saying? But if I would have come to Atlanta and met the right people who were skaters, I probably could have done that. Sure. If I would have pursued that. But I didn't pursue that. I pursued woodworking. And I just feel like God has put something in me to be able to do those things. He's given me those gifts and talents. So why not use all of them? Yeah. I still roller skate. I'm not pursuing it. I still sing. I'm not pursuing it as much. I still dance. I'm not pursuing that either. But I am pursuing woodworking, and it's working out really well. And I'm able to use what I have to do these things. These brands are reaching out because they're used to having a lot of older white guys doing woodworking. And now they have a younger looking, I ain't young, but we have a younger looking black guy who can sing, who's good on camera, and who's really good at woodworking. But the other experiences that I have from being on stage,
let's talk about it. That's
from
so
singing,
yeah,
from doing music videos, makes me good on camera.
Wow, man.
But I'm also had to take 7 years to learn how to do woodworking and learn how to do it well. So now you just take those experiences and you put a mixed bag of a person together. Shout out, like you said, Ruslan and Belief. You put this person together, and now you've got something huge. People are looking for you to be a music artist or a star or whatever. And it's like, that's just not where I wanted to go. And that's not what God had for me.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna go this way. You know what I'm saying? For all of the people that do music, great. That's great for you. That's what God put in you. That's how God wanted you to share your gifts.
Sure.
It's just not how He wanted me to share mine.
Oh, that's good, man.
That's so good because some people think that they're only meant for one thing.
Yep.
And like how you said, how you were able to realize even throughout your childhood that God placed you in certain situations, in front of certain people, mentors, things like that led you to this point.
Yep.
Where all those things work together, but in the sense of like just giving, most people don't give God the free space to be able to say, okay, well, this is what I want, but I'm also good at this and whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? Like the fact that you gave God that free space and even the fact that you were even open-minded. Most people aren't open, most artists aren't open-minded to the other things that they are talented at to be able to do that. And it's so dope that you're able to do that and then do it well and dive into it. So we got to dive into J. Paul the Carpenter now.
All right.
Because I was going on a rant off camera.
Yeah.
So, man, there's been so many dope things you've created.
Yeah.
Like seeing you do the sound booth for T-Pain and the elevators and things like that. Is there a project that you're most proud of, that's most memorable to you? Like when you saw someone's reaction, it kind of just like warmed your heart. Like what are some standout projects that you've done and worked on, so on and so forth?
I think the home renovations are the things that are like really big for me. Like the family that we did the TV show for. So the husband had seen parts of it. The wife hadn't seen it. And to see her just start crying because she's the fourth generation of her family to live in this house. And for her to see her house looking like that, she was just like, thank y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I love helping people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's also, I feel like a gift or a superpower God has given me. I enjoy helping people. So to see people's faces when they have something that they didn't have before, like I really want to help. Like there's a lady down the street from me named Miss Linda. She's been on our block for 45 years. Our neighborhood is being gentrified and she's still living in her house. By God's grace, she's able to still pay her bills with the taxes going up, but she can't do anything to her house. So I'm like, man, I want the opportunity to help Miss Linda. You know what I'm saying? Like to come in her house, rebuild her house, and for her to come in and have this joy of, dang, like somebody did something for me and I wasn't able to pay for it and they're not expecting anything of me. You know what I'm saying? So
the gospel, okay.
Right.
I mean, for real, it's like,
right.
So, sorry, I just had to.
But so like stuff like that. But I mean, I will say outside of that, one of my favorite things I built I built 2 California king size daybed swings for T.I. and Tiny. And their house is black and their gutters are gold. So I was like, who has a black and gold theme? Like what brand has a black and gold theme? And I was like, Versace. So I did Versace print and painted it gold and black.
That's it.
And now they got these big, and they put LED lights under the bottom. And now they got these 2 big California king size daybed swings on their front porch. Amazing. So, and then when they saw it, they're so used to things, used to having stuff. He saw it and he was like, oh, okay, that's what's up. That's dope. And I finished it on his birthday. So I'm there, they're setting up for his birthday. They invited me to stay for the birthday. And I was like, dang, that's all he gonna give me? God, no, that's kind of crazy. This mug is, bro, nobody got this. Nobody has this. It's kind of crazy. And then when she walked out, she was like, oh my goodness. And I had to remember, they were for her anyway. All right, cool. Yeah. He wasn't worried about
happy
it.
Wife, happy life.
Right.
Yeah.
She was like, oh my gosh. And her family started coming in, his family started coming in, and they were super excited about it. But part of the reason why I started making daybed swings anyway was because it brings family and friends together. Like you can sit on this, have some tea, something to drink, some coffee, whatever, read a book. Tables, it brings family. You can eat at this together. You know what I'm saying? So for his entire family, they literally had like 8 people on each one of those swings just hanging out, sitting down. And just to see that, I was just like, man, this is really dope.
That's so good.
You know what I'm saying? This is really dope to see y'all enjoy this space. So that's probably also one of my favorite.
I think what's cool also is that most people wouldn't think that creativity goes into things like that.
Yeah.
Like it's like you're just cutting wood, sanding things down, just building stuff. Like no, like can you talk on that? Like how your creativity influences like, you know, the line of work you're in when you make day beds, when you're making sound booths, things of that nature.
Yeah. There's a lot of creativity.
Yeah.
So and everybody's creativity is different. So I met a guy who likes to twist wood, and he puts no screws or anything in his builds, but he builds chairs. And all he does is puts the wood in like this steaming oven, puts it in the oven. It steams the wood to get it soft enough for him to be able to twist it and bend it. Then he puts it in a jig for it to dry out. And once it dries out, now he's made the chair that he wanted to make. And I'm like, but it takes a long time. I can make a chair in 2 days. It takes him 2 weeks to make a chair. And I'm just like, man, like this kind of crazy to see people's creativity in everything. But for me, my creativity is just, again, I come from the music world. I like doing things for music people. You know what I'm saying? Like, folks in the music world, I grew up, I was pretty gaudy. I liked bright, shiny things. I was the shiny quarter kid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So seeing shiny things makes me excited. So that swing being gold and black, it just speaks to my personality. So that's my creativity. The studio booth you said I did for Pain. I put a LED light behind it and painted it red, and that speaks to my creativity and me liking to be gaudy and bright and big and, you know, whatever. Sure. So yeah, I mean, that's just, I guess if I answered the question.
No, yeah.
Right.
Sometimes people are so close-minded to art.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was at the High Museum, and I don't even tell you what the exhibit was, but I saw a bed frame there, and I was kind of like, well, someone leave a bed? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? But then like reading about the person who made it and designed it, and then I saw a chair next to it, and then one of my friends is an artist, and she had a wood shop class, and then she was teaching me certain things. And then when we were having you on the show and then seeing the things you've created, I was kind of like, people just don't understand how you can be able to create anything. Like being a chef is art. You know what I'm saying? Fashion is art. Absolutely. Woodwork. That's art.
Right.
And you being able to put your spin on that. I don't know, man. I think that's just so dope.
Yeah.
That's super dope.
Appreciate it.
I love that.
Yeah, I want to hear a little bit about your work on the show, the Destination show, and the experience of that. I mean, you've had a lot of cool things that you've done, man. I feel like we can just list a highlight reel of all the cool things you touched. Talk a little bit about that experience, man.
That was dope. That was super fun. That opportunity came from the brand deals that I was talking about. So I went to a conference called Workbench Con, and it's just a builders conference. So it's builders coming together, teaching each other about everything. I'm going to teach you how to build a table the correct way. So people come in and they hear y'all two speak about that. But then you have other people who will come in and just talk about brand deals. So there were two ladies, a black lady named Shar, a Latino lady named Monica, and they were talking about brand deals and what they're doing with brand deals. And I was like, wait, there's another way for me to make money doing this? Oh, okay, cool. Let's figure this out. So I went up after and talked to them a little bit, got their phone numbers, and they were like super nice. And they were like, you just need to reach out to the brands. And I was like, okay, cool. When I went to Workbench Con, so they do stickers. They pass out stickers to each other. Coming from a music world, we pass out flyers. So I went with a 1-sheet on a flyer, had my face and everything I've done, all my information on it. You've got Home Depot, you've got Kills Primer, you've got all of these brands here, and I passed my stuff out. Then I went home and I emailed those people. Now they have a face and they know what I do. So I did a brand deal with Kills Primer, and it was just me painting my front door, and it was a blog. And that blog ended up being the most viewed blog they've ever had on Kills for their brand.
Crazy.
So then they reached out and they were like, hey, we're doing a series for YouTube. We want you to be the face, the face of our brand for this series. So I was like, that's interesting. Like, again, I wasn't trying to. Like, it just happened. So we went out there, we filmed it, we saw the house. Well, they sent us pictures of it. We saw the house, and me and Jason just started collabing on everything, trying to make it the best thing possible. Jason hadn't done a lot of TV stuff, so I was able to help him a little bit. He was able to help me a little bit, help him with nerves. He was able to help me with nerves with just trying to figure out the designs and, you know, whatever. And it was, I mean, for me, it was a life-changing experience because now I'm getting contacted by other TV shows who have seen that TV show, and now they're like, hey, we want you to do this show. And okay, that one didn't work out. And it's discouraging because it's just like putting out an album. Yeah. It's like putting out a song. Yeah. This gonna be it. This the one. This the one. This is it. And then that one ain't it. You know what I'm saying? It's the other song that everybody else likes. Sure. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's been hard trying to figure out all of that stuff. But now, I mean, the TV show was dope. Again, life-changing for me. So
that's amazing. That's amazing.
You said so much, Jay, and I'm so grateful that you were on. Any last final words that you have for our listeners? You talked on your evolution. You talked on ordered steps, and you talked on just being open and you not really trying. You know, is there any final words you want to leave our listeners just from like your experience from career to career? Just leave our listeners with something.
All I got is, don't be afraid to go where God is taking you. That's all I got. Like, for real. I mean, like trying your best to pull away from or punch this glass ceiling, you know what I'm saying? Punching at this ceiling, and God is like, no, that's not where I'm taking you. If you move over into this other room, there's a roof wide open. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of going where God is taking you. So that's where I'm at. So that's what I got right now.
That's it, man. This is the 116 Life Holy Culture Radio. Thanks so much for being with us, Jay. Shout out Meah. Sirius Channel 140. Shout out Matt on the backs, you know, so the cameras and tech. We'll see y'all next week.